Today we announce the 20 for 2020 campaign, also known as the 20. It is a composite of 20 promises of principle and changes to policy that we believe will foster the start, not the end, of a deeper conversation about the role of the police in our society. For the remainder of the year, departments across the state will adopt and adhere to action items in this plan in order to double down on the statewide focus on training, transparency, communication, and human rights. This plan was created through statewide cooperation and feedback from all chiefs to capitalize on what we have been doing already and will do in the future to best serve our residents. As you will see in the press release we have distributed and the program document that we will post it on the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association website and all Rhode Island Police Department websites, the 20 for 2020 campaign includes the following: a universal statewide condemnation of the murder of George Floyd and a denouncement of racism and police brutality signed by every police chief in Rhode Island. A re-emphasis on training standards such as de-escalation, implicit bias, and defending the profession of policing as a vehicle to ensure not only public safety, but public wellness. Third, a confirmation that our statewide use of force policy meets or exceeds reform calls, including the 8 Can't Wait model. Fourth, defending and upholding the right of people to protest and peacefully assemble without interference. Fifth, upholding and defending the right of the news media to do its job and require that officers provide their name and badge number whenever asked. Sixth, requiring all agencies to post their use of force policies and other important policies and procedures publicly. Seventh, setting a goal for every single police department in the state to achieve accreditation, creating a more even playing field statewide and ensuring more equal application of the law to our communities. Eighth, ensuring that every police department's website has a place for the submission of complaints and that every complaint is reviewed. We will also have agencies publish a link to the Department of Justice Rights Reporting Portal. Ninth, exploring, researching, and ultimately promoting restorative justice with a long-term goal of creating restorative justice programs that all agencies can use to ensure community harmony without the stain of a criminal record for certain nonviolent offenders. 10. Statewide research of body cameras and cruiser camera programs with the intent of starting more such programs in the state and researching possible funding vehicles to create a statewide program. 11. Working with the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association to ensure that all police departments in the state have an officer wellness program, including a mental health wellness program, understanding that mental fitness is as important or even more important than physical fitness for a police officer. 12. Creating a database of every agency's civil and social service resources, including mental health resources, and addiction specialists, service providers, and social workers. Many people are unaware that such programs not only exist, but are commonplace inside police departments. And we will make these resources public and make them available across all agencies in Rhode Island. 13th, creation of a statewide uniform use of force reporting system and mandatory reporting of use of force incidents to the FBI. 14th, every police chief in the state commits to a public or online open forum with his or her community on a regular basis. 15th, every police chief in the state commits to an open and honest dialogue with the intent of revising and reforming the Rhode Island Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights. 16, to create a statewide outreach program to maximize the recruitment of a diverse workforce in our agencies. 17, to commit among all agencies to allow external groups to provide training, education, including the Anti-Defamation League and other cultural, civic, and social justice organizations. 18, all of our departments will review guidelines on police use of force published by the NAACP and seek to incorporate those standards into practice. 19, the creation of an open library on the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association website of training resources, diversity and bias education materials, and scholarly works on criminal justice to ensure our chiefs are keeping up with the latest national and international best practices. And 20, a commitment of every single police department in Rhode Island to undergo implicit bias training. There are amazing resources such as the Right Academy, Fair and Impartial Policing, the Rhode Island Guardians Association, that specialize in educating police officers on how to look inward, to understand that systematic racism is not always or even usually an overt act, and by recognizing and addressing our implicit biases, we believe we can go a step further toward equal justice and safety for all. I want to make this clear that this is the beginning of a dialogue, not the end. Many of the 20 promises can be enacted today. Others will take considerable diligence, research, and time. I also stress that this is not an all-encompassing list of policy changes and principles, but it's a starting point. From here, with an open mind and an open-door policy encouraging dialogue with our community, we hope to better achieve our goals. We seek to promote not just public safety, but to build and maintain the public's trust among all people in Rhode Island, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, gender identity, sexual orientation, immigration status, or any other measurable demographic.